Hello.
Hi there, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
I'm not bad
Yeah.
myself.
Where are you calling from?
Japan.
Japan. Okay, great,
Yourself?
great. Yeah. I'm Canadian, but I live in Mexico.
Yeah, I'm Bulgarian, but I live in Japan.
That's what I thought. I thought I don't think you're Japanese. But you never know. I mean, really, you never know. And I don't look Mexican either, so Yeah.
I'm a language teacher myself, and
Oh, great.
the reason I'm here on this platform is to have a discussion with my fellow teacher on the topic of teaching.
Okay, interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I've been teaching in Mexico, teaching English in Mexico for 18 years, so I think I can give you some insight.
Teaching, and from what I could gather, you also train people in Mexico how to be English teachers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we have a bachelor's degree that they train to be either English teachers or English translators. They also can choose French. So the first thing they do the first year is decide if they want English or French, and the second year they decide if they want to be teachers or translators.
In last year's EF English proficiency ranking, Mexico's ranked, I believe, 92nd out of 112 countries.
Wow, I didn't know that, but it's yeah, I can see it. I can see it. It's there's there's a bit of a cultural divide. I think that's the reason. In my case, even though we're very close to the US, it culturally we're extremely different.
I think there is a similar problem in the US with people who want to learn Spanish. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's kind of like an societal, cultural, emotional divide. It's like not letting yourself really get immersed, not really wanting to take on the culture. So, yeah, that's what I think. Sure.
My first question is, what is the role of a language teacher when we talk about adult learners? In a few words, if you could.
Um, well, I always think it's more of a facilitator. So, the when it comes to the beginners, you of course you're helping them learn the building blocks, but then when it comes to intermediate and advanced speakers, you're trying to encourage them to use as many authentic resources as possible. So I think it's like mostly like facilitating.
Facilitating, what do you mean by facilitating? You just tell them use authentic resources or what?
No, of course you're giving them options. You're telling them where they should go. You're then giving them.
There is an ocean
You're
of
giving them.
resources.
Well, you're
Don't get.
giving.
I don't understand.
But you're giving them a platform in the classroom or online to also practice what they've learned from those resources. So like you're helping them find the input, and then you're helping them do the output in the classroom.
Not sure I understand what the meaning of helping them find input, because it's everywhere.
Right. Uh, well, helping them find.
Let me read
Yeah, sure.
something to you and tell me what you think. The
Sure.
role of the language teacher is to teach the student how to learn alone without a teacher, how to become an independent learner.
Sure. Yeah. What I usually do is try to focus their energies on what kind of input they should be using, because they don't seem to really know what is good input and what is bad input. In other words, they're always being pushed towards like ESL type resources, when they really should be, if they're intermediate and advanced, they should be looking for authentic resources. So helping them understand what authentic resources are.
It's everywhere. I'm not sure. Again, I
No, but
understand.
I know, but they don't understand that. They don't understand what's the difference between a resource that's been created for them as the ESL learner, and what is an authentic
And
resource.
that's an adult. We're talking about adults or children.
Yes, I'm talking about adults. Yes, seriously. I know that may be shocking to you, but they really don't sometimes
No, no, it's
understand
not
the difference.
shocking to me. It's not shocking. There is a simple explanation why they think that way. Because
Uh huh.
they want to learn a language so they could speak. And that's the problem. when you want to learn a language to speak,
Uh-huh.
you don't think about authentic and not authentic. All you care about is give me the language, give me words and vocabulary because I want to speak.
What they care about is they want to spend their money and get a product or a service that is going to make it happen. And
make them speak, make them fluent.
Yes, but the problem is I think what the problem is mostly the market. Like, people here in Mexico want to make money from
No, not
teaching
just
English.
Mexico. I live in Japan. It's much bigger business here in Japan. It's probably
Sure.
5-6 times bigger. Japan, Korea, China.
What they do is they sell them packages of textbooks, packages of courses that are very slow, because that's what's better for the business.
I don't think that a language could be taught. That's why I wanted to ask you, how can you teach people to be language teachers if the role of a teacher is to teach how to learn alone? Because nobody teaches students how they can learn alone, as far as I know.
Yes, I completely agree. And I have to do a job, and I'm told how to do that job, right? And but I don't always agree with what I have to do. Yeah.
You don't agree with what you have to do. So
if
it were up to you, what would you do?
I wouldn't be a hypocrite. Like, sometimes we have to be a hypocrite in that we teach them about learning theories, and then in their teaching classes, so they have teaching methodology classes, right? And then they also have language classes. So in the teaching methodology classes, we teach them about a whole bunch of different kinds of methodology that you could use, and none of them talk about textbooks. And then in their language class, they use a textbook. And that's what I don't agree with, but I have to do it because it's my job.
What is language to you? You have a master's in education, in linguistics, or education? Or?
In education. Educational technology.
What is language to you?
Oh, that's a much deeper question, I think, than I can answer. I think you have to ask, maybe you should ask Chomsky or Krashen or something.
Let me tell you my definition.
Okay.
Language is a tool for acquiring knowledge. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Language is a tool for acquiring knowledge. And as far as I know, nobody acquires knowledge in a language classroom. Nobody goes into a language classroom to acquire knowledge. And vocabulary and grammar are not knowledge.
Yeah, I mean...
Vocabulary and grammar are to language what glossary and footnotes are to a book.
Yeah, I agree. I don't... personally, I don't like to teach grammar. I don't think that that's really going to help them get along.
When you strip the language from the information, from the knowledge, all you're left with is vocabulary and grammar.
Yes, I agree.
So why are people here on Cambly? Why do people go to language classrooms?
I ask myself the same thing. I agree with you completely. And I'm, like I said, with Cambly, of course, I can express that, and I can steer the students into a more autonomous type learning, right? And in my regular job, unfortunately, I cannot, because that's not what I'm paid to do.
Have you ever paid for chatting? The way Cambly markets the platform is get paid to chat. Have you ever paid?
I would if if I had the money, I would probably.
You would pay to have a conversation with a foreigner.
With a native speaker, yes. Yes, with a French native speaker, I would.
You are a believer in practicing speaking.
Yes, I am. Yes, for sure.
I could never understand the meaning of practice speaking. What does practice speaking mean? What are you practicing exactly? The creation of thought, the creation of sound? What's the practice? To me, speaking is a byproduct of knowledge acquisition.
Okay. But there's people that they need to speak because they need to know how much they need to process that input that they've had. They need the opportunity
Not
for
input.
output.
I dislike the word input. Knowledge. Acquiring
Okay,
knowledge,
so
because input, grammar book is also input. A
okay,
vocabulary
so
list is.
why are you hearing Cambly then? Like what is it? What is your objective?
Get knowledge from experts like you, people with experience. That's what I'm here for. I
It
would
sounds like
never.
you've already made up your decision. You made up your mind.
I want to get feedback. No. Of course. I have a very long experience, and what my frustration was the realization that I'm providing a service I wouldn't pay for. That's what I'm here for,
Okay.
to get.
I personally, I mean, I'm not saying this to because everybody's telling me to say this. I personally would, because for example, I've lost my French practice. I used to be a French teacher. And if I had the opportunity to
But
talk,
practice.
I know you hate the word practice, I'm sorry, but if
But
I had the opportunity to talk to somebody, because I'm in Mexico and I can't really talk to many French speakers, if I had the money, I would pay to chat with someone. Yes, I would. That's just
what is the practice? No. What is the practice part? What you practicing your muscles? What are you practicing exactly?
I mean, you're trying to see what 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 you still what competence you still have left in the language, and you're testing yourself,
You either have it
I
or you
guess.
don't have it. I mean, I'm not sure. You either produce a sentence, make a sentence, or you don't. I don't understand what's the practice exactly. No, I'm sure that
Can
if
I
you
say
kind of think it over, you'll realize the absurdity of this thing. Practice speaking. To me, it makes no sense. To me, practice speaking a foreign language is like practice speaking your native language.
okay, so but I'm interested, if you're right now you're paying to talk to me, but is it that you're
Not
doing
talk to you.
research?
No. Yes. I am getting language is a tool for acquiring knowledge. I'm not here to move my mouth. I'm not here to get mistake corrections. I'm not here
No, but
to, learn
personally,
vocabulary.
what's your reason for paying to talk to me right now? Like what are you getting
Other
from it?
people's experience, other people's feedback. When I say people, I mean
Diffuse and
fellow
research, I
teachers.
assume.
Fellow teachers.
Like this is going to be in research, for example. I don't know.
Yes. Write a book
I
or
just feel
something.
I mean, I honestly feel it's a bit dishonest to pay for a service that you know exactly what the service is, but that's not what you're doing.
I bet that I'm the first and most likely the last one of this kind to come to you with such questions. People are here to practice their
Um,
speaking. I'm here to
yeah,
get information, get knowledge.
maybe, but I've heard some crazy stories. Uh,
So when you say dishonest,
I've
what do
heard
you
some
mean by
other crazy
dishonest?
stories. Because when you signed up for Cambly and you paid, you knew what the service was for, or who it was for. So if
Yes.
you're using it for a different purpose, I mean, it's basically
I used to be
dishonest.
you. No, I used to be you, but offline. A similar,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've, I told you,
I
I
don't think
realized
I don't
I.
think you've been me. I don't think you've been
No,
me.
no, I mean, a teacher, one on one, providing a service I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't pay for. My last question is,
Okay. I've heard, yeah, I think I've heard of you already. Some
yeah,
people
that's
have
what I
been
said, probably first
complaining
and
about you.
last. Yes. Would a native speaker of English pay money to have a conversation with you?
I don't think so. What would be the purpose?
That's exactly my reaction when we talk about practicing speaking. It's practicing
Right, but
speaking
a
a
native
foreign
speaker
language.
has practice.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard of you already. Some people have been complaining about you.
just heard the word complain as I was editing this video. Missed it when it happened, so have to address it now. Cambly teachers or a teacher complaining about me. Why? She even called me dishonest. Why? Does she know the meaning of the word dishonest? I stated my intention to each and every one of them at the beginning of every lesson. I told them who I was and what I wanted to talk about. Yes, I had to cut some of them off because I wanted to take advantage of the full 15 minutes, which might have looked a bit rude, but, I paid for those 15 minutes. Those are my 15 minutes. Complaining about what? My uncomfortable questions? Questioning the service they're providing? Not to mention that I gave all of them 4 and 5-star ratings, 5 being the highest. Even though I learned nothing from them. I only gave 1 3-star rating because he was 5-6 minutes late, which was okay, but he did not even apologize, and his camera and internet connection was crap. The whole thing is so absurd. You have one life. Don't waste it.